Today we will talk about what it really takes to launch a $1 million funnel and have a look behind the scenes. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started, and how you set this world record?
Sure. So yeah, I got started. I was actually working in a 9 to 5. I was working for a fitness company, and what our role was, we were working on building a really cool product. It was actually an online course to teach people how to become personal trainers. So if you wanted to learn how to become certified in that, that's what we did. So we were working on a course. At the time, I was wearing a bunch of different hats. I was doing product development, operations, and all these different things. And we were working on this course, blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. And when we were done with it, we handed it over to the marketing department, and they just did not know how to sell it. Like, they were running Facebook ads and stuff, which is great. They didn't know what a funnel was, didn't know any like sales process like that. So it kind of turned into a nightmare. And out of pure frustration, which is how a lot of ideas come into place and a lot of new identities are born, I remember going home one night and I was just annoyed. I was like, why can't we sell this thing? We put so much effort into this product and no one's buying it. I remember just sitting there laying in bed, and I was on Facebook. It was like 3 a.m. and I was just sitting there and I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and this ad pops up from Russell Brunson, who I had no idea who it was at the time. And I click it. It was weird marketing experiments to increase traffic conversions and sales online. Like, I'll never forget the ad. And I click it, and it's this like 90-minute presentation on how to sell things online, like how to get more customers. You need to use a funnel, all this cool stuff. And I remember instantly being captivated. I was sucked in so hardcore that I watched that presentation again. And let me remind you, it's 90 minutes. It was like 3 a.m. When I was finally done, it was an all-nighter, 6 a.m. I remember absorbing all this information from this presentation. I remember just running into the office, and we had like this whiteboard wall, and I was just like scribbling out what I thought was my first iteration of a funnel. And everyone's looking at me, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I know how we're going to sell this course now, right? I kind of like took it on myself to launch this thing. So the marketing department's like, yeah, whatever, man. And I was like, look, I know how we're going to do it. Like, just follow my lead on this. And I start creating this webinar funnel, which I barely knew what I was doing at the time, but I knew that this had to be the way, right? This guy, Russell Brunson, was telling me about it. I believed it. It sounded like it was the thing. And I remember I called up the person that was doing the webinar. He was actually a celebrity trainer. That's who we made the course from. And I'm like, hey, listen, man, I need you to record this webinar script. Like, here it is. He records it, sends it back. We throw it in the funnel, and I go to the marketing department. I say, guys, listen, just run ads. That's what you were doing. They go, okay, like, fine. So they start running ads to this webinar now, which, it's not a website anymore. We actually had a funnel, and people start opting in, and they start watching this presentation. I remember all these people were watching this presentation, and it gets to the part where we sell the product, the offer, and 5 minutes go by and no one buys. 10 minutes, no one buys. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the webinar ends, and not a single soul on that webinar purchased the product. And I remember I was just completely defeated. I was like, I just put everything, not only did we just build a product that we didn't know how to, like, the marketing department didn't know how to sell. Now I just invested in learning how to sell it and market it using funnels, and it didn't work. And I remember walking outside, and we had like these steps, and I remember just sitting on the steps with my hands like just in my head. And I'm just like, why did this not work? And I was like, you know what, forget it. And I walked back inside, and I went over to my computer, and I pressed on the refresh button just to see, like, what could it hurt? And right as I pressed that refresh button, we had our first sale for $797. Like, someone actually paid for the product, and it completely changed my life, right? Like, it was at that moment in time, I knew that there was something to this internet money thing, and I completely was sucked into this world of online marketing and funnels. I was sucked in so much that I remember walking in the next day, and I quit. I quit my 9 to 5. I quit the comfort and security of a job, and I set out on my own to learn everything humanly possible about digital marketing. I remember just studying the greats, Frank Kern, Dean Graziosi, Mike Diller, like some of my mentors who I now like do business with. It's one of the most amazing things. But at the time, I was just learning. I was like Russell, all of them. I was just learning as much as I could from these people. And when I felt like I was ready, I created a profile on Upwork, and I started marketing my services to people. And I just remember I did whatever I could to learn a skill set. And I got jobs, and customers turned into clients turned into repeat like partnerships. And it led me to one of my most successful funnels to this day, which is the one that did $1 million in 43 days.
So let us go back a minute. Like you, when you decided to quit your job, like you got one sale and then you decided to quit your job. Like, did you have any savings, or did you just know like I just want to do this, and
Yeah, no.
what was your thought process there?
Yes. Well, my thought process, I was sporadic. I just knew that there was something to it. And I was like, let me just try it, right? Like I barely had any money, but I knew I'd find a way if I just went all in on it. And I figured, you know what, what's the worst case scenario? If this doesn't work, I just go back and I do what I was already doing in the first place, if it doesn't work. And if it does work, my entire life can change. But all it took was that one sale. So yeah, I quit. It was one of the scariest moments because I left the comfort of a paycheck for uncertainty. And our brains do anything in our power to prevent us from making those moves. But I knew that I had to make the move. And it was the second I made that move, everything started changing. I just knew there was no plan B, right? Like it was make this work or go back to what you were doing. And I knew I couldn't go back to that. So I was like, whatever it takes, we have to do it to make it work.
Yeah, but you decided not to launch like your own product or your own course or something. You decided to build funnels for other people. So how did you approach like client acquisition and pricing when you started?
Yeah, so look, I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew I wasn't prepared to launch my own products or courses because I didn't have skill yet. I had no skill set, right? I'm not the type of entrepreneur to fake and sell things that I don't know how to do yet. So that first year of my life, I just learned. That's all I did. I learned, I tested things on my own a little bit here and there, like on my dime, my little budget I had, nothing significant, but I knew that there was an entry wedge for me in terms of like designing and building funnels, like very simple stuff, right? That was like my entry wedge. And I just was like, let me try and become the best at this. And I focused hardcore on that. And then after you start becoming good at something, then you have a whole new set of problems. It's like, all right, now I know how to do this thing. How do I market myself to let the world know that I do this thing? And I remember the whole proposal process was a nightmare. Like I hated sending out proposals. I hated like trying to get clients. So instead of trying to chase down clients, I remember I was like, you know what if I try getting a massive win for one client? Like instead of trying to get all these little jobs and paying the bills with like little, all the money, like the different revenue sources, which wasn't significant. I was like, let me sacrifice the money now, get someone a massive win for their business. And I know that it could be the catapult to my career. And that's what I focused on. I went for wins instead of revenue.
And where did you find this first client?
So yeah, funny enough, I was leaving my I was visiting my mom in St. Pete here in Florida, and I was driving back, and I get a phone call from a guy named Brian Page, and I was connected to him maybe like a week before. Like nothing really turned into anything. We were just like chatting it up. He had like some issue with like an SMTP thing I was helping him with, but nothing significant. And he's like, Blake, listen, man, like I got this online course. It's all I got. There's nothing else. There's no proof of concept, no market, no list, no audience, like nothing. No webinar, no funnel, no presentation. There was nothing. And he's like, how do I sell this thing? I'm like, dude, you need a webinar. Like based on what you told me, your price point, what you have, you need a webinar. And he's like, well, do you know anyone that can build me one? I'm like, yeah, man, I can build you one. And at the time, like I was just like, this was like, I was just into it, right? Like I wasn't even like, I wouldn't even call myself like super experienced, but I knew I wanted to deliver a massive win. So he's like, all right, let's partner up on this thing. And I just put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. And after, when you put the right pieces in place, the traffic, Brian had the course, I built the funnel and the strategy behind the funnel, you create something that can be amazing. And because of that, we did $1 million in 43 days.
Wow. That's amazing. So
yeah, it was awesome. It was an amazing experience.
What do you think make this why was it so successful?
You got look, when you're doing anything, you have to there's a lot of research that goes into things before you launch any successful thing. I think a lot of success is predicated on the amount of research that you do prior to understanding your market and your customers and the competitive landscape inside. You have to know how you're going to uniquely position yourself into a market to have a chance of success. And maybe unbeknownst to us at the time, we knew that we had a massive market with a massive opportunity. We were just missing some of the pieces. So when you get people that have skill sets, like that are really good at what they do, or they have the potential to be really good at what they do, and you bring it together into a team, you create a recipe that has a good chance at finding success. And that's what we did. Like Brian had the course, I brought the funnels. We had our affiliate manager, Kristen, who helped with the traffic, and you bring us together and we all specialized in different components and we were able to launch a successful funnel.
Awesome. So a lot of people learn about funnels, so for example, during the One Funnel Away challenge, but they get taught like how they can build their own funnel for themselves. Do you think it's better to start like you and just doing this for somebody else?
I think if you have a skill set, like, look, it's a lot easier to have a business and then put funnels into it versus not having a business and then bringing on a funnel. Okay. I'm not saying it's impossible with the latter. It's just harder, right? One Funnel Away is a great challenge. It's designed to teach people that don't know what a funnel is yet, and teach them how to create an offer, how to create a sales message, and how to launch a funnel. I think maybe a lot of people are chasing the dream, right? They don't really know what it takes yet to launch a successful business online, and they might think that in 30 days it's possible, which you can. Is it likely? No, it's not, but it's still possible. And I think the goal of OFA is to just show people what's possible out there, and it's there to teach you that if you're willing to learn marketing and willing to learn how to sell, then you can have the world online, and OFA can show you that. But at the end of the day, it's up to you if you're going to be successful. It's how much work and ambition are you going to put into something. All people like ClickFunnels and what I do and other people, all we can do is give you a shortcut. We can give you the tools, we can give you the resources, we can save you time. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you.
Amazing. What do you think for somebody who's new to this? Like, if they want to market this skill, like how long does it take to be at least build your first decent funnel?
It depends. You just got to be like how I look at it, how my business partner I look at it. You got to be obsessive. Like if you don't obsess over it, like maybe it's not for you. Like you got to find a way to truly love what you do each and every day. And because of that, you don't have to be pushed towards it. You'll be pulled. And the famous quote by Steve Jobs, like the vision will pull you to it. So to answer your question, you could be good in a month. It could take you 6 months. It's just, how much do you really want to learn and try? It's all about executing, and not just, you have to learn, but you also have to learn with the intent to apply the knowledge. And if you do that, just go out there and fail. Like that's what's going to happen. You're not going to launch a successful funnel your first time. Like it's you can, but it's probably not going to happen if I'm just being honest with you. But that's good, because what that's going to do is it's going to teach you what not to do next time and how to make adjustments. And eventually you're going to be good and you're going to be able to launch funnels that make a lot of money. So yeah, my best piece of advice is do it when you're ready. Like it all depends on you as a person. That's really what it is. It's like you could build a funnel in a day, and it might not do anything, or it could. It comes down to how much do you really want to learn? How much do you really want to understand this marketing game? And based on that is basically the predicated from the success you could probably have.
Yeah, I'm part of your Facebook group right now, where you teach people how to set up their first social media lead machine funnel, which is a great cause. What are the biggest mistakes that you see your students are making?
So I've found that the best way to give someone a good chance of success is if we're able to do the majority of the legwork. You have a way better chance. I don't want people building funnels from scratch. You just don't have to. Like I can give you what you need. I can put you at like the 5-yard line. You just got to punch it home. And a lot of times I see people it's just simple mistakes. There's nothing really detrimental. They don't really understand their market yet. People don't necessarily, they're not, every mistake I see made is a mistake based on that you don't fully understand frameworks and marketing yet. And it's simple mistakes. It might be your headline. It might be some design stuff, which is different. It might be, you don't have the message dialed in correctly. Your offer is not there. It's simple mistakes because it's all based on that you really don't know the problem you're solving for the people you're solving it for. So that's all solvable stuff. It just comes in time with becoming more and more experienced each and every day as you're in this game. So it's all easy things to fix. It just takes a little time and a little educating.
What does a little time mean?
It months. It could. I mean, to me, a little time is years. Like I don't bat an eye at 2 years. I'm like, if we can execute something in 10 years, that's like that. Like I don't view it like that. But like people, like time, like invest hours into learning headlines and studying frameworks. Read books on how to be better at copywriting and direct response marketing. Like it's don't view time as like whether you do it or not. You view it just, look, no one's born an expert. It's the reality of it. So some people learn faster than others. It just depends. But it's just go out there and wherever you suck at, like either become better at it or find someone that knows how to do it better than you.
And what's the most important part? Like if I really want to, let's say like for me, for example, like I had the same problem. I developed my software. It was really hard for me to build an audience. Like what are the elements? Like what should I focus on first?
Well, I mean, look, you always want to have like you need to start building a market. Dig the well before you're thirsty. Okay, you don't want to have something and then hope that people want it. You need to have people and then build the product they want. So it's always wise to start building a market, start building a list of people that you eventually want to solve problems for. Okay, so you really have to understand the market you're operating in. And then more importantly, inside of that market, you really need to understand the sub-market. And then inside of the sub-market, you need to carve out your own niche. You need to find the people you want to hang out with each and every day and then ask them what their problems are and then go create a solution for them.
Okay, and this solution can be everything. Like if you say it, like it sounds really simple, but if I ask you about the timeline, it's like you're talking about months and years. So anything that yeah the, let's say for example, like somebody is still in a 9 to 5 job and he wants to go into online marketing. Like would you recommend do it like you did, or is there maybe something when they still have like an income that they can run tests on, or should they just like build the skill first and then quit their job?
It's up to you as a person. I'm not going to be the one to tell you don't quit your job. I'm not going to be the one to tell you stay in your job. Do what's best for you, right? I have an addictive personality. I'm more maniacal. I make decisions where I'm like, it's an all or nothing response with me personally. There's no half measure. It's all in or I'm not doing it. And it's up to you. Look, if you want like sound advice on it, probably I'd say like work, right? Pay the bills, right? Keep your 9 to 5. And then from the hours of 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., like moonlight your, quote unquote side hustle. Like start building a skill set. But I see too many people try and bypass that. They want to just not build a skill set. And it's the craziest thing in the world, because if you take time to build a skill set, you will be untouchable. Like that's the arbitrage opportunity you have in life, is to become really good at something. And that's what I'd recommend then. If you're more of the type that, look, I get it. We're all in different parts of my life. I was at a point in my life where it's like I was lean, right? Life didn't get in my way yet. Okay. And sometimes life gets in the way, and that's okay. So you got to do what's best for you. If you need money right then and there, which most people do, I get it. Like work your job, make some money, but then remember, when you leave your job, start your next job, which is learning a skill set to eventually leave the job you're at, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, and what's the most important skill set? Like I think a lot of people, especially when they hear about like ClickFunnels or Kartra or things like that, they hide behind the software, and it's really about getting sales. Like how would you recommend? Like what would you recommend to these people?
Go learn how to sell. You got to learn how to sell. People find excuses for every which way not to be successful. It's crazy. It's like, I don't have a product. That doesn't matter. No one, who cares? Who cares if you have the world's greatest product in the world? If you don't know how to sell it, it doesn't matter. So just the best exercise I tell people is like, pretend you have the most amazing thing in the world. You have a car that can fly right now. Okay. That doesn't matter if you don't know how to sell it. So the best skills you can go learn is sales and marketing. And once you prove you can sell an idea, then go build it. But don't do it the other way around. Look, too many people, like they die before they have a chance at success because they find every which way not to go do something. Like, no more excuses. Just put yourself out there, go fail your face off, and start learning how to sell and market. But the only way to do that is you got to put yourself out there. You got to do the stuff that's really uncomfortable. But that's how you succeed.
Is there something that you see people refuse to face or just bury their head in the sand or try to ignore and hope it just gets away?
Yeah, selling. I think a lot of people are refuse to learn sales online. They refuse to learn how to sell because it's hard. It's vague. It's an abstract concept. There's frameworks, but you can follow a framework, but every outcome can have a different path. And I think a lot of people don't know where to begin in terms of how to sell something, and they try and avoid it. But ultimately, the biggest part people try and avoid, which is going out there and selling stuff or marketing stuff, is really the one factor of your success. The biggest factor, I'd say, after you have to fulfill on the product side. So you got to get out there and you got to go start talking to people and you got to go start testing stuff.
Any advice, like more specific advice, like how I can get better at sales if I want to yeah, build funnel for other people's?
Yeah, I mean, follow the people in front of you that have already done it. Go find the people that are a couple steps ahead of you and follow their moves. Watch what they do. Pay attention to every step and observe what they're doing, because you want to follow people that are already on the path. They're just a few miles in front of you. Those are the people you want to take advice from. Those are the people you want to follow. Okay. Like when I look for consultants in my business, I don't look for consultants. Like, I don't care if you generated $10 million in the financial industry. That doesn't help my business. I want someone that is ahead of me with where I want to go. So the best piece of advice that's more specific, find the people that are doing what you want to do and take notes.
No, awesome. Previously, you talked about like when you built this funnel, you already had a great team in place. Any advice on team building or something, or should people like if they are just alone, like what's the best way? For example, they are really good and excel at design, and that's what they're passionate about. But they for example do not know how to drive traffic. Like how should they apply this if they want to help, for example, a local client or something, or local
Yeah,
business?
we didn't even have a team in place, but a team is the most important part of any business. You can sit there all day and be a solopreneur and only grow so much. If you want to have a business, a big business, it takes a team. It takes help. There is no way around that. So my best piece of advice is don't be afraid to give away a piece of the pie. Don't be afraid to give away some of your company, because at the end of the day, 100% of 80% of a watermelon is much better than 100% of a grape. So if you want to build something meaningful, go find people to complement your skill sets. If you suck at traffic, go find a traffic partner. If you suck at design, and you can't afford someone, give a little piece of the pie. Like, go build a team, because that is going to be your foundation on how big and how fast you can move.
For funnels, which team members would you recommend to have on this team? Like for what skill sets?
It just depends on what you're trying to do. Funnels is a lot. Like, building a funnel is easy. Like, let's get that straight too. Building a funnel is simple. Okay. ClickFunnels was designed so anyone can build a funnel. Your success is not because you know how to build a funnel. Your success is because you know how to sell. You know an angle, you have a marketing message, you have a product that solves a problem for people that are in some type of pain. That's what works. The funnel is just the delivery mechanism. It's the process people go through to basically get what you have. So building a funnel is simple, but if you want to, you need copywriters, you need designers, you need builders, you need traffic specialists. There's a bunch of different roles you need to really launch a successful campaign. In the beginning, you can kind of dabble and do them all if you need to, but ultimately I would still say go try and build a team.
Yeah, awesome. And one thing that I really just noticed when you said like building funnels is easy, and that's probably because you spend a lot of time building funnels and spend building the skill set. But also when I talk, for example, to my Facebook expert, she said like getting leads is easy. So I think the more time you put into like building one specific skill, at some point you reach the point when it gets easy. And
Well, yeah, I mean, and look at ClickFunnels. Like, I don't say that because I've been building funnels. Like, you don't even have to build funnels anymore. Just go get a template and then you're done, right? It doesn't solve it. It doesn't solve anything. It just shows you that that's one piece of the pie, but it's not the reason why you're successful. If you have a lot of traffic, a good funnel can convert because you're good with psychology. Now, injecting psychology into a funnel, different story. Very few people really know how to effectively do that, right? But the actual building, I mean, ClickFunnels like a brand new person into something like ClickFunnels can learn how to build a funnel probably in the first couple of hours. but it's all about how effective it is because the other pieces of your campaign are in place. It's like a house of cards. You can't have one without the other. You need a message, you need a product, you need traffic, you need a funnel, you need an entry point, you need positioning, you need a campaign. Like there's a lot of different things that you need, and you can't do it without one. You need them all.
So yeah, to recap all of this, like if I really want to like let's take my software for example, which is a software that helps people to avoid distraction and not be on Facebook and YouTube all the time. Like what would be your advice to me? Like I think we touched on a couple of things like getting a team and something, but yeah, to really recap what we talked about, if I want to take this into $1 million business and funnel.
It just depends, man. It's like everything's going to be different. I don't know if I could really give you a sound piece of advice. It just depends on where you're at with your business.
Awesome. And I think that's even that is a great recap, because and that's why I'm putting together the summit, because I want the listener and you, if you're watching this, to really know that you have to decide on your own. Like I do not know how often like told you that you have to decide on your own, and it depends. So you really have to take a look at your personality, at your resources, at the network, and then yeah, just go out there and take action, and then fail and improve. And yeah, I think that's the essence of this interview. And with all the software out there, personally I prefer Kartra, because it makes things like yeah, even easier, because you spend all the time integrating with an email service provider, and it has like complete done for you campaign. So you literally just have to move in and follow the checklist and replace the headlines, and you're done. So like technology is not a hindrance anymore. It's just like how much time you want to put in there, and then take action, and then find the right people who have a need that you can help. And yeah, I think that's it. Any final words of advice from your side?
No, just look, anyone out there, if you want to have a successful online business or a successful business in general, just there's no shortcut. You got to put the work in. Okay. If you're willing to put the work in, you can have the world. Honestly, I mean that. Like you can have whatever it is that you're after. Just be willing to put the work in, be willing to fail, be willing to do all the stuff that's going to suck, but just know that at the other end of what sucks is going to be awesomeness. So that's what I want to leave everyone with.